Hey, Stephen Whiteside's here with Greenbrier Music. I have a treat for you today. This is the most finely handcrafted ride cymbal we've ever carried at Greenbrier Music, and I believe the most finely handcrafted cymbal I've ever laid eyes on. Mark Love and I were looking for the correct ride to really satiate the jazz drummer, the fusion drummer, and the gigging rock drummer. The thing that's difficult to find there is that the gigging rock drummer is often shopping for a heavy ride, something kind of dry, something that really cuts. The person shopping for the correct jazz ride is often looking for something that's darker and reminiscent of like a 50s, 60s, or 70s Avidus series 20-inch standard ride cymbal. They're fairly dry, but they have this really like prominent dark wash that's sort of trashy sounding. What I wanted to do is blend those together and make something ideal both for them and for the fusion drummer to really create the ideal versatile ride. If you only had one ride cymbal to bring, this would be one with a very iconic signature sound. It blends in the dark trashiness that you can get out of an actual vintage ride cymbal with some of the cool jazzy musical tones and extreme zonality of the cymbal, where it sounds different depending on where and how you strike it. Yet for the rock drummer, we needed a few things. We need a clear bell that sounds like a ride bell, not a cup chime, something that blends with the cymbal better. And we also need a ride surface that's articulate. So while this ride might be something you want to throw a mic a little bit closer to, as opposed to a true rock ride, this is something the rock drummer could not only get away with, but setting it up that way, giving a little bit of an extra mic boost to play a softer but more textured ride, would really make your rock and roll songs sound 100% better than some of the stuff that is actually true to era if you're looking to sound similar but improved with a little bit of a modern flavor. Similarly, if you're looking to sound exactly like you're going to fit in with any of your favorite jazz artists, you're going to want to go find a vintage cymbal. But this is a modern blend with more complexity and a little bit of extra flavor to give you a little bit of that and then something more that's your own signature from your own time. We call this ride the Greenbrier. It's a 22-inch artisan cymbal with a combination of HH and HHX peen hammering. Going from the bell outward, it has a hand-hammered raw bell. Most raw bells are not hammered. What that produces is a very clear tone, something that kind of cuts through and is good for a rock ride, but at the same time, it doesn't blend very well with the rest of the kit on certain rides, especially if they're too heavy. By hammering the bell, we've created a bell that blends with the inner bow of the cymbal very well. The inner bow of the cymbal plays a little like a flat ride. It's very articulate, it's dry, but it's complex. There's a lot of aftertones, a lot of undertone, but they're not too prevalent. It's dry up enough where you can really hear each stick articulation very clearly, as you'll see when I play this cymbal in just a moment. Toward the outer bow, it gets darker, it gets washier, and it builds a little bit of a trashy tone caused by the folded edge of the cymbal, much like a HHX effects crash, the Dave Weckl cymbal. Check that out if you haven't heard of the effects crash. We did some of the same sort of hammering to this to give it where the edge, as the bow goes out, kind of folds in about the last inch of the cymbal. And most importantly, to control the cymbal, so it wasn't just like too much of a paper-thin, formless thing. To really build the articulation, we have two control rings. Now, we've gone kind of crazy for three-point crashes for the last year because they probably are the best thing ever made. This has two thinner control rings, and the point of it is to create a zone on the outside of the cymbal to keep the wash under control. That way, depending on how far out toward the edge you play, you can really precisely decide the amount of wash building under the cymbal and how much of that dark undertone you want or you don't want. Whereas with a lot of cymbals, you kind of hit the cymbal and you get the full effect of wah, wah, wah coming out of the bottom of the cymbal. You hit the top near the bell, you get a ting, but you still get that little after sustain, wah, 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 if you put your ear near the actual cymbal height, especially if you listen from the underside. It's different from different positions depending on where you mic from or where your audience is, if you're up on a riser stage or if you're down with them. So we are looking again for a cymbal where you control that effect just based on where and how you hit the ride. So let's check that out and see all the different things you can do with this amazing $1,000 ride cymbal. Let's check out how this amazing ride cymbal sounds. There you have it. The Greenbrier Ride is not a ride for the novice. This is an expert's ride cymbal that has different tonal zones, even at different positions around the clock of the cymbal. It has different tonal zones from the inner bow out. Based on the position of the logos, to play this ride really to its fullest, you have to hit every bit of the ride in a nice quiet room before you take it and put it on the rest of your drum set. Realize this ride's going to really carry the feel of every rhythm that you play with your band. It's also going to have a little bit of a pitch influence, whether you're in a bright, exciting sounding, fast-paced part of a song or a dark, trashier, undertoning part of the song, something subtle. You can do everything you want with this ride cymbal. You just have to know exactly where and how to hit it, how hard to hit it, and really keep in mind that based on how close to the inside of the cymbal you are, you can control how much that underhum really builds up. You can control whether it's dry or washy. You can control bright or dark. You can control low pitch. On this particular ride, there's a higher pitch just right of the artisan logo sweet spot right here. And then there's a very nice textured mid-range spot right around 5 o'clock here. That's actually a fairly large zone where you get a beautiful pitch. It really sounds like probably like an artisan 21-inch regular ride right around this zone with a nice medium consistent orchestral sounding pitch. Even the outer edge sounds different at different positions around the cymbal. And when you use a stick like this to strike the edge of the cymbal, you get a nice blended tone instead of too much of a chime. You'll notice the bell really blends well and sounds amazing with this cymbal. It doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. It's something you can really use a lot in your rhythm instead of using it against your rhythm. In short, I believe this ride, for the masterful player who takes the time to learn it, can do quite a few things that other rides cannot, and it is worth every penny, and it was worth the last 3 years of all the trips I've been up to the Sabian factory, really spending a lot of time just trying to find the right cymbal. I give you the Greenbrier Ride.